Hello everyone. So today in this session we are going to cover the topic which is 2.6 in your textbook, science and spirituality. Now coming to the title, students, what do you think? How is the chapter connected with this topic, like science and spirituality? You might have come across people who believe in only science. They are like, there's no spirituality, भगवान जैसा कुछ होता नहीं है, no one exists, it's only science. And then you come across few people who are very firm on their decision that no, I do agree that science exists, but at the same time I also agree that God exists, and it's his powers, or it is through his, through his thing that things work accordingly. हम बोलते ना उनकी इच्छा से काम हो रहा है, चीज़ें हो रही है. So you come across many people, right, who believes in science and spirituality. So this is the topic which we are going to study further in this session. So let's continue. Part 1. We often witness conflict between two groups of people, one that believes in science and the other that believes in religion, right? As I said earlier, we do come across so many people. Like, I remember when I was in school, we students used to have debate for this. Like, I was someone who used to believe in spirituality, who used to believe in God, who had faith in God, and wherein I have friends who used to believe कि no, it's only us, जो भी करते हैं हम ही करते हैं. So you often come across people, and there's always a debate on this topic. Dr. Kalam was a great scientist. This is indisputable, okay, that he was a great scientist. Every one of us know, right, that he was an amazing scientist, and this is indisputable. What do you mean by indisputable, students? It means the one which cannot be questioned, कि इसके ऊपर कोई सवाल ही नहीं कर सकता कि वो एक अच्छे साइंटिस्ट थे वैसा. But he was also convinced that fact and faith can together create a better planet. Facts are the things which are true, like the ones which are honest, the one which is fact, the one which is true basically. And faith मतलब क्या? किसी पे विश्वास होना, मतलब किसी पे इन द सेंस यहाँ पे स्पिरिचुअलिटी आ जाता है पार्ट, लाइक भगवान आ जाते हैं, जहाँ पे आप भगवान पे भरोसा करते हो वैसे. So he was convinced, he believed. What did Kalam believe? Dr. Kalam believed that fact and faith together create a better planet. That both together, faith and facts, दोनों एक साथ होते, they create a better planet. That one can live in a planet, it creates a good atmosphere when both of them exist, the faith as well as fact. He once told me science and faith must coexist for the human good. Okay, must coexist. Coexist means to stay together. तो दोनों होना ही चाहिए कभी भी. क्या होना चाहिए? साइंस एंड फेथ. फॉर व्हाट? फॉर ह्यूमन गुड, के ह्यूमंस के अच्छाई के लिए, फॉर द वेलफेयर ऑफ ह्यूमंस. बोथ ऑफ देम शुड बी देयर एंड शुड बी गोइंग इनटू hand in hand. Science provides focus. Focus helps us to solve questions, discover the truth, and conceive inventions. Okay, so what does science helps us? Facts किसके लिए help करता है? If we have facts, we get to know, okay, we can solve certain questions which are difficult. We get to know the things which are true. Okay, we get to know about facts, right? हमें सच्चाई पता चलती है कोई चीज़ें की, हम न्यू इन्वेंशंस कर सकते हैं because of the facts which we know. This is what science helps us. Facts helps us to discover new things, to get to know about things like whether it is, this thing exists or not, the reality of thing. It helps us for the inventions of new things. And now let us see what faith helps us for. Faith मतलब क्या? Basically किसी चीज़ पे विश्वास होना. Usually they talk about God, कि या कोई बोलते हमें God पे भरोसा नहीं है, हम believe करते that only humans are exist, and hum ही है, we are the person who's responsible for our karma, wherein some believe that God exists and God is responsible for it. So in the same way, now let us see what does faith helps us for. Faith provides perspective. Now what do you mean by perspective, students? Perspective is a view, the way you think about a particular topic or a particular thing, your attitude towards that thing, your view towards that particular thing is called faith. It helps us how our creations and discoveries go on to impact a combination vital for the success of society. Vital is essential, okay, important, जो ज़रूरी होता है वो. So what does perspective helps us? Perspectives help us to know the view of a particular thing. Now basically क्या होता है पता है students? When we know focus, like अगर आप focus करते हो तो that's fine, it's helping you out to improve new things or to learn new inventions. But when you have faith into that particular thing, you have a limit of a certain thing, you know what is right and what is wrong when you have faith into a particular thing, right? अगर आपको किसी पे भरोसा है, so you know to what certain level, to what certain limit you should go, एक लिमिट होता है. नाउ लेट अस टेक एन easiest example. You guys have faith for your parents, right? आपको आपके पेरेंट्स पे भरोसा है, right? You have faith on your parents, so you have a limit. आपको एक लिमिट पता है कि कोई भी लिमिट से in the way of talking, the way you talk with your parents, there's a limit, you can't be एक पॉइंट पे आप थोड़ा सा लीनियंटली उनके साथ बात करते हो, but you cannot be rude to them, right? You know a limit to a particular thing. So that is called as having faith on each other. कि faith होता है so you know the limits, you know the boundaries. So that is called faith. And perspective is that is perspective basically. And focus is science related, that it helps us to get more information about a particular thing or to invent a new thing. Science accelerates progress and faith curbs it within reasonable limitation. Okay, that science accelerate progress, it helps us progress को बढ़ाने में, उनका speed बढ़ाने में, it helps us, right? As we just learned that science helps us to improve new knowledge. That is how a person can progress, right? So it helps us to accelerate progress, but faith curbs it within reasonable limitation. Curbs is control it, as I said, एक limit होती है ना, controls it, control or keep something in within limit. So that is what faith do, right? If the two function true to their roles, they will work together for the betterment of humanity. अगर दोनों ही perfect level पे, if both are treated equally, they will definitely lead to the development for the society. Dr. Kalam's own life was nourished by multiple faith, that he himself has so many faiths in his life. Now, if you don't know, if you read certain books of him, like there's one of the book of Dr. Kalam which is Transcendence, okay, that was written on how a leader, Pramukh Swami Maharaj, he's a spiritual leader, how he influenced him in his life and how he was influenced by him. Now the Pramukh Swami Maharaj वो एक हिंदू गॉड, मतलब हिंदू ये है, गुरु है जिनको लोग मानते हैं, जो स्वामीनारायण लोग होते हैं वो उनको मानते हैं. तो डॉक्टर कलाम ने उनके ऊपर बुक लिखी है कि कैसे उन्होंने पर्सनली उनके लाइफ को इन्फ्लुएंस किया. He never thought of such things कि I am a Muslim, why should I get inspired by someone who's Hindu or someone who's Christian. He never thought that, and we should never actually think about certain things, right? Caste and वो सब, caste है, religion है, this is all I believe is created by humans. You should treat a person just as a person he or she is, not by a particular caste or religion he or she follows. So he himself has been influenced by so many people in his life. Okay, his father, a boatman, also served as an imam at the local mosque, and his two best friends were from two different religions. One was Hindu and other was Christian. Okay, that his father was a simple boatman and he also served as imam. Now, what do you mean by students? Imam. Imam is basically the one who does prayers in mosque. जैसे हमारे मंदिरों में कैसे पुजारी होते हैं जो पूजा पाठ करते हैं, फिर in church you have priest who do the prayers and stuff. In the same way, जो mosque में जो prayers करते हैं उनको बोलते हैं imam. So his father he was also an imam, plus he was also a boatman, and his two friends, the two friends of Dr. Kalam, was of two different religion. Okay, one was Hindu and other one was Christian. Pakshi Lakshmana Shastrigal was the head priest of the famous Rameshwara temple and a Vedic scholar, and the Reverend Father Bodil had built the first church on Rameshwara Island. Okay, so what he's saying, Dr. Kalam recalled how all three of them, in the unique attire of their religion, used to sit and discuss the community's problem and find solution. So what he's saying, that again there was this one friend of him who was a priest in a Rameshwar temple, जो एक साधु थे, रामेश्वर पंडित थे एक रामेश्वर टेम्पल में, एंड प्लस ही वॉज अ वैदिक स्कॉलर, एंड जो अलग थे दूसरे थे रेवरेंड फादर बॉडल, ही वॉज अ priest in the church. Okay, he built the first church in the Rameshwar island. Okay, so what he is saying, that I recall कि मुझे याद आता है वो scene जब हम तीनों, now three of them are of different religion, right? So they have different attires. अगर हम गर्ल्स में ही देख ले तो बेसिकली गर्ल्स में कैसा होता है, द क्रिश्चियंस आर द नॉर्मल वन, द मॉडर्न वंस, नॉट द मॉडर्न वंस, एवरी वन इज़ अ मॉडर्न वन, बट बेसिकली द वन हु usually wears formal and skirts and frocks, and wherein Hindu would normally wear something like basic jeans shirt or leggings kurti maybe, and the one who's Muslim, they usually wear this salwar kameez type. So this is how the attire differs, right? So he's also recalling the thing कि हम तीनों, he was a Muslim, his friend who was Christian and another friend who was Hindu, तो हम तीनों कैसे एक साथ बैठते थे, and we used to discuss problems in communities, the communities which they have, and then find solutions among it. So I still remember how all of us were in different attires. He's recalling this thing. Throughout the nation and the world, the need to have a frank dialogue among cultures, religion, and civilization is felt now more than ever. That you should have a frank discussion, no matter what. आपको जो पॉइंट लगता है किसी रिलीजन के लिए या कुछ भी हो, यू शुड बी फ्रैंक इन. फ्रैंक डिस्कशन इज़ द वन in which the things are loyal. Okay, कि आप सच्चाई बोल रहे हो, नॉट किसी you are not saying something to hurt someone's sentiments, but the fact which you think, you are expressing it, and this should be the thing. Okay, now ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि अरे मेरा फ्रेंड है and he is belonging to that particular religion तो शायद उसको बुरा लगे. No, if you have certain doubts, that friend of yours would be happy to solve it. कि भाई उसको खुशी मिलेगी कि अरे मेरे रिलीजन के बारे में पूछ रहा है, and he should be happy to give you information about it. So he's saying this thing only, that the frank discussion is an important part of this current society. कोई भी रिलीजन, कोई भी कल्चर के ऊपर एक फ्रैंक डिस्कशन होना ज़रूरी है. When asked where he got his humility from, Dr. Kalam would always attribute to his father. So everyone used to ask him, right, that you been Muslim, and then you been at such a high post, you been an amazing scientist, and you're such a kind person. अगर आपने उनके बुक्स, उनके स्टोरीज पढ़े हैं, you remember it, okay? All of these people have a particular aura. Now talking about Nana Patekar, why is he famous in our Bollywood industry? Why? Because he's such a great human, right? Like great actor, but at the same time he's a great human being. If you have seen his pictures, these pictures of him have gone viral कि वो एक लेडी के घर पे, अपने खुद के घर पे एक्चुअली नीचे बैठ के खाना खाते हैं. So all of these normal things, the way he treat others, okay, the way he talk to others, make him a person of his kind, right? Everyone respects him. एक अलग ही respect आता है उनके लिए. So in the same way, Dr. Kalam भी वैसे ही थे, that everyone used to have a tremendous amount of respect for him. So when asked him about his humility, के एक नॉर्मल सी चीज़ है, अगर आपके पास हाई पोस्ट आ जाता है एंड यू आर अचीविंग थिंग्स, तो आपका एटीट्यूड बदलता है. यू स्टार्ट क्या बोलते हैं, आपका जो ये होता है ना बिहेवियर, दैट चेंजेस. बट ही हैड अचीव सो मच इन हिज लाइफ एंड एट द सेम टाइम ही वॉज down to earth, a person who was very down to earth. So when people used to ask him about his humility, कि आप इतने kind, इतने normal, ground to earth कैसे हो, so he always used to attribute, he always used to say or honor this ये thing कि या मेरे को कहाँ से मिला ये चीज़. तो he always he always received it from his father. He always used to give that attribute, give that credit to his father. In him, he saw how simplicity and divinity could go together. That he believed this simple bhi hai plus divine bhi hai. That my father was very simple, and at the same time, he believed in spirituality. Divinity is to be spiritual. So at the same time, both कैसे हाथ में हाथ मिला के both go hands in hand. That is what I learned from my father. Even though his father was a boatman and Dr. Kalam went on to become the president of India, they shared the same values in life. He's saying that my father was just a normal boatman and I was on the, at the time of becoming president of India. But both of us shares the same values. मेरे values अब तक जो छूटे नहीं है, मैं कितने भी बड़े पोस्ट पे आ जाऊँ, but the values which were inculcated by my parents in me is still the same. Both believe that if one leads a spiritual life, then that spirituality can lift them out of any kind of confusion, misery or failure. That both of us believed that spirituality life में होनी चाहिए, and if you are spiritual, then any sort of problems or misery you will face in your life, you will come out of it. It's basically spirituality is believing in God. एक कैसे होता है, see, there are two kinds of people, as I said earlier. The one is someone who believes in God, कि एक होता है जो पूरा God पे ही डाल देते हैं. मतलब कैसा कि ओके जो भी होना है सही है, God is with me, God has seen what, God will do something which is beneficial for me. वो वैसा ही कुछ करेगी जो मेरे लिए अच्छा होगा, एंड आई ट्रस्ट है. तो एक होता है जो स्पिरिचुअल होते हैं, जो गॉड के द वन हु हैड फेथ इन गॉड, कि नहीं जो भी है भगवान जी मेरा देखेंगे और मेरा अच्छा करेंगे. एंड एक होते हैं द वन हु बिलीव इन देमसेल्फ, दैट नो आई एम द मेकर ऑफ माई life, I am the maker of my whatever thing is happening around me, like I am the one who will take the decisions and I am the one who will face it. तो एक वैसे टाइप के लोग होते हैं, लाइक हम लोग ने सबको देखा है, राइट? हमारा रिजल्ट आता है तो वन इज़ वेरी हेल्प, वन इज़ वेरी ग्रेटफुल टू गॉड, कह रहे भगवान जी थैंक यू आपने मार्क्स लाया, थैंक यू आपने बचा लिया. एक होता है नहीं भाई मैंने खुद के मेरे मेहनत से किया है, भगवान जी का क्या, मैंने खुद ने पेपर दिया. यू कम अक्रॉस ऑल ऑफ दीज काइंड्स ऑफ पीपल. आई एम डैम श्योर यू गाइज आर इन 10th. अब तक तो आपने ऐसे लोग देखे ही होंगे. सो दैट वॉज ही सेइंग, बट ही यूज्ड टू बिलीव दैट स्पिरिचुअलिटी, अगर आप किसी में बिलीव करते हो, अगर आप भगवान जी में बिलीव करते हो, तो आई एम डैम श्योर कि आपके लाइफ में जो भी मिजरीज आएंगी, जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी, उनसे भगवान आपको बाहर ज़रूर निकालेंगे. सो दिस इज़ हाउ ही वॉज अ साइंटिस्ट हिमसेल्फ, राइट? बट ही वॉज स्पिरिचुअल, ही यूज्ड टू बिलीव इन ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स एंड देयर इज nothing wrong in it, right? If you believe in something, that's good enough. हम लोग ने पहले ही देखा, इट हेल्प्स अस कौन सा फैक्टर लाने में, पर्सपेक्टिव लाने में, राइट? नेक्स्ट पार्ट 2. In the 1960, when Dr. Kalam joined ISRO, it was just a fledgling organization, fledge fledgling organization. What do you mean by fledgling organization? Student fledgling is a new and an inexperience. कि अभी इसरो कितना फेमस है, बट उस टाइम पे ही जब भी उन्होंने ज्वाइन किया था डॉक्टर कलाम ने, उस टाइम पे इट वाज जस्ट एन इनएक्सपीरियंस, जस्ट बना था, अब तक तो कोई एक्सपीरियंस नहीं था हमारे उनके पास. His interactions with the great scientist Professor Vikram Sarabhai and the Reverend Peter Bernard Pereira shaped his thoughts on religion. But when he had this conversation between two of the scientists, one was Vikram Sarabhai and another was Peter Bernard Pereira, he said that they completely, changed my thoughts on religion. यही चीज़ है, आप जितने लोगों से बात करोगे यू विल गेन सम नॉलेज, एंड दैट इज़ हाउ योर पर्सपेक्टिव, योर थिंकिंग चेंजेस. It was here that he learned about the true meaning of religious service. कि यहाँ पे उन्होंने true meaning देखा religious service का क्या था, ऐसे कैसे उनको पता चला. Let us see. Professor Sarabhai and his team had selected a site in Thumba, Kerala to set up the space research facility. Okay, they had a place in Kerala where they thought that they will do their research facility. It was an ideal site due to its proximity to the magnetic equator. It was a perfect place where they could carry out their research work. Why research work? What am I? Okay, research work. Why? Because it was the proximity of it, it was on perfect magnetic equator, so it was perfect place for them to carry out their work. But there was a major roadblock in getting possession of the site, as it was the fishing grounds of Thumba's fishermen. Roadblock मतलब क्या, एक बड़ा problem था. क्या problem था? That place was of that place was of people belonging to the fishing grounds. The Thumba के जो fishermen थे उनका वो place था. Yeah. Moreover, it had an old church of Saint Mary Magdalene, a bishop's house, and a school which was under the administration of the church. Government officials predicted that it would be impossible to relocate so many people from the site and destroy religious institutions for the sake of Space Research Center. Now, वो particular place पे क्या था student? There was this church which was there, Saint Mary Magdalene, and also there was this school over there, and plus वो area जहाँ पे fisherman they used to sell fishes and stuff, like उनका area था. So all of these three things were located there, and it was very difficult to move the public. वहाँ का जो public था उनको एक place से दूसरे place पे shift करना was very difficult. And क्या reason था? For a space research work. अगर कोई रिसर्च वर्क अभी कोई उनके बेनिफिट के लिए होता है तो एक बार लोग मान भी जाते हैं, राइट? इफ़ दे आर मेकिंग मॉल और समथिंग लाइक दैट, इवन वंस दे कैन बी कन्विंस, द पीपल ओवर देयर कैन बी कन्विंस कि चलो अपने भलाई के लिए ही है, हाँ बोल देते. बट स्पेस रिसर्च वर्क उनके लिए तो कुछ काम आएगा नहीं वो. सो इट वॉज़ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट कि उनको वहाँ से हटाना was very difficult. But upon Dr. Sarabhai's persistence, it was suggested that they approach the only person who could help them in this situation, Father Pereira, then bishop of the region. Okay, so वहाँ पे जो Father Pereira थे ना, एक ही option था that they had to go and contact him and ask people or request people कि थोड़ा help करे उनको. Dr. Sarabhai and Dr. Kalam approached Father Pereira on a Sunday evening. The Reverend said, Oh Vikram, you are asking me for my children's abode, for my abode, and for God's abode. Abode is the place where someone live. Okay, so he was very disturbed. वो बेचारे एकदम दुखी हो गए थे कि you are asking me for my children's abode. Children मतलब अभी वो priest थे, right? So for priest everyone सब बच्चे उनके लिए एक ही होते हैं. सो ही इज़ टेलिंग दैट यू आस्किंग मी फॉर माई चिल्ड्रंस अबॉर्ड, बिकॉज वहाँ पे उनके जो फिशरमैन्स थे दे यूज टू लिव, राइट. सो दैट वॉज चिल्ड्रंस अबॉर्ड. माई अबॉर्ड बिकॉज वो चर्च में वो भी काम करते थे तो उनका प्लेस भी हो गया वो. एंड गॉड्स अबॉर्ड क्योंकि चर्च था तो गॉड भी वहाँ पे रहते थे. तो ही इज़ टेलिंग दैट यू आर आस्किंग मी फॉर ऑल ऑफ दिस अबॉर्ड. अबॉर्ड इज़ द प्लेस where someone live. How is it possible? Father Pereira then invited the party to visit the church on a Sunday morning. तो ये लोग कभी गए थे मिलने को? They went on Saturday evening, and then he said that please do come on Sunday. Tomorrow morning that would be prayers. At that time you come to meet me. अब ये लोग सब चले गए. कौन चले गए? डॉक्टर सारा भाई, फिर डॉक्टर कलाम, ये सब लोग चले गए चर्च में संडे मॉर्निंग को to attend the prayers. Dr. Sarabhai, his team, and the forever inquisitive disciple Dr. Kalam took up the offer. They went there. At church the next Sunday, the Reverend invited Dr. Sarabhai up to the dais after the prayer service. Dais is, you all know, right? जहाँ पे dais is like a stage जहाँ पे जो speaker होता है वो speech देते हैं. So in the same way जहाँ पे church पे जो dais था जहाँ पे लोग prayer कर रहे थे तो वो जो father थे he called Vikram Sarabhai onto the dais. Turning to everyone present, he said, "Dear children, here is a scientist, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. What does science do for us?" Okay, so he's telling all the people over there, he's addressing all the people that over here we have the scientist, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, and then he's asking question to people that what does science have done for us? We benefit from the devices that science had developed to light up our homes. I am able to talk to you using this mic thanks to technological advancement. So he's telling them that I am able to talk to you all present over here. Why? Because of this mic. This is a device which has been invented by them. So I am able to talk to them. That is how science is helping us. Medical science allows doctor to diagnose and treat patient. Science and technology enhance the overall comfort and quality of human life, right? Comfort level हम humans का बढ़ जाता है. Everything which we see is technically helpful to us, right? Cell phones हो गया, अपन remotes हो गए, TV हो गए, सब हो गया. So they are helping us technically, right? And which is providing us comfort and making our life happy, easy. And what do I do as a preacher? And मैं as a preacher क्या करता हूँ? I pray for your well-being and for your peace, right? In short, Vikram and I are doing the same job. वो क्या कर रहे हैं? वो practically आपको चीज़ें प्रोवाइड कर रहा है. साइंटिस्ट इज़ प्रोवाइडिंग द थिंग्स प्रैक्टिकली इन फ्रंट ऑफ अस एंड आई डू इट स्पिरिचुअली. मैं स्पिरिचुअली करता हूँ, मैं आपके लिए प्रे करता हूँ गॉड के सामने. बोथ आर डूइंग द सेम थिंग. दोनों का मोटो सेम है, दैट देयर शुड बी वेलफेयर ऑफ यू गाइस. ओके. Both science and spirituality seek the Almighty's blessing for the prosperity of human mind and body. That both of them, they, what do? They seek the Almighty. They pray to Almighty. Why? For your blessings and for your prosperity. Dear children, Dr. Vikram says that within a year he wants to build scientific facilities near the sea coast, replacing all the settlements that now stand there. फिर उन्होंने अच्छे से समझा that he want to all the settlements, all of them who are staying near the seaside, वहाँ पे उनको एक रिसर्च सेंटर बनाना. सो उसके लिए वहाँ पे जो सारे घर है उनको वहाँ से हटना होगा, साइड होना होगा. Now can you give me up your abode? Can I give up my abode? Can we give up the God's abode for such a great scientific mission? फिर वो उनको समझाते कि now can we do this kind of help to Vikram Sarabhai, to provide him this opportunity, to provide him this work. क्या हम अपना अबॉर्ड जहाँ पे हम रह रहे हैं वो उनको दे सकते हैं for the scientific work? Dr. Kalam recalled how he witnessed a pin drop silence for a long moment. Everyone was shocked. इतना easy discussion नहीं है, right? घर छोड़ने को कोई बोल रहा है, हमें पता नहीं हम कहाँ पे जा रहे हैं. There's no new settlement, no new place to live. So it's a big thing to just make a decision, right? So everyone was silent. It was pin drop silence, and Dr. Kalam is reminding that thing again, recalling that thing again. Then everyone got up and the whole church reverberated with the deafening noise of a collective amen. Okay, फिर क्या हो गया? Reverberated is echoed loudly, कि सब ने एक साथ क्या बोला? Amen. Okay, noise of collective amen. And so work on the research center was soon underway, and thus the work started, but not without alternative accommodation being offered to the affected fisherman, the church, and the Reverend Pereira. But what they did, they made a settlement, okay, कि अलग से एक प्लेस बना के रखा था. किसके लिए? यही सब लोगों के लिए, फिशरमैन, जो चर्च के ओनर थे, जो चर्च के प्रीस्ट थे, उनके लिए, so that they can settle there. Okay, so this was a beautiful example in which we got to know कि उन्होंने कितने अच्छे से, जो प्रीस्ट थे, उन्होंने समझाया that both of us are doing the same thing. They are doing it practically and I am doing it spirituality. समझा? So for today's session we'll keep this much only. I'll continue in the next one. Till then, bye bye and take care.